What's up guys, just before we start, I'm not going to be playing the entire segment before we start analysing, we're just going to go straight into it, otherwise the video will be way too long. Enjoy.
Absolutely. Now get ready and stop hogging the mirror.
Right.
And this is where you create your character, by simply selecting part of the face and sculpting.
Such a cute nose.
What do you think, huh? Beard or no beard?
We're going to speed up time here and show you just how easy and powerful this is to create all new characters by just sculpting and making changes wherever you want in the face. No series of sliders.
Hey, my turn, big guy.
And of course, you can play as a female. Whoever you leave the menu as is who you'll play. And this is an entirely dynamic system. It's the same system we use to create all of the game's NPCs. We even generate a baby based on the couple you make.
Good morning, sir. Your coffee, 173.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Brewed to perfection.
Thanks, Codsworth.
Of course, sir.
First up, when he opened the refrigerator just now, in Fallout 3 and in Fallout New Vegas, whenever you opened the container, a UI would pop up. In this, that doesn't seem to be the case, which makes me think that it's going to be a real problem to find food and drinks in here because that refrigerator is small. Any container, if they've completely removed the UI from them, they're going to have limited room, so you're not going to be able to get as much as you probably would from Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas.
Nuka-Cola, ice cold. Sugar bombs, 100% daily value of sugar.
V.A.T.S is reporting a record number of reservations.
Good morning! V.A.T.S calling.
And this is the new speech system. Now they've completely revamped it, it seems. You're only limited to 4 separate options this time now. Keep an eye on this, on the speech system, because there is a pattern that you can see, and I will explain that further along, but just keep an eye on it for now.
V.A.T.S? Remind me again?
Why, we're about you, sir, and helping secure your future. You see, V.A.T.S is the foremost builder of state-of-the-art underground fallout shelters. Vaults, if you will.
But there's room for my entire family, right?
Of course, of course. Miner's your robot, naturally. In fact, you're already cleared for entrance. It's just a matter of verifying some information.
And here we've got the return of an old favourite, the special system. Now, not much has changed in regards to the special system, other than endurance. Now, if you read the text that describes endurance and what it does, you'll notice that it says you can sprint. Now, that's great news, because if you've ever played Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, you'll know that you couldn't sprint back then. You could only walk or fast travel. Or, well, run at a snail's pace, maybe, but most of the time, even if you wanted to fast travel, you couldn't because you hadn't had that location discovered yet. So it's nice to finally see that they've added sprinting.
Wonderful. That's everything. Just gonna walk this over to the vault. Congratulations on being prepared for the future.
Thanks again.
Hey, it's peace of mind. That's worth a little paperwork, right?
Mr. Howard, Sean has been changed, but he absolutely refuses to calm down.
You heard Codsworth say my name. That isn't for the demo. We actually have recorded around 1,000 of the most popular names for him to say.
How are the 2 most important men in my life doing? Spin the mobile a bit. He loves that.
Sir, Mom, you should come and see this.
Confirmed reports of nuclear detonations in New York and Pennsylvania. My God.
We need to get to the vault. Now!
I've got Sean. Let's go.
almost there.
And here we get a look at the new waypoint system. Now if you look at the bottom of the screen, and I'll mark it up for you so you can see it so you know what I'm talking about, it actually shows the distance to your target, and on screen it shows you the actual target, it shows you your marker. Now I hope you can turn this off in game because I can see that being a little bit annoying, but other than that it's a great feature.
I love you. Both of you.
We love you too.
Hold on!
Now, we're not going to be spoiling or talking about the game's story tonight, but you do survive and get lowered into the vault. Events transpire, but you then emerge 200 years later as the sole survivor of Vault 111. This is an enormous dynamic world where you can create any kind of character you want, go where you want, and do whatever you want. Player freedom remains our absolute #1 goal. This is running on a next-generation version of our creation engine, features full physical-based rendering, as well as dynamic volumetric lighting.
As I live and breathe. Mr. Howard, is that really you?
In the first segment I asked you to keep an eye on the speech system to see if you can see any flowing patterns with each conversation that you have with an NPC. Now I'll bring those conversations up on screen just so you can remember and you can compare with what I'm seeing right now. Y is always a question, X is always a neutral response, B is always a negative response, and A is always a positive response. Now, I'm not too sure what to think about this because it seems like you're very limited in what response you can actually give. There's only 4 options, so hopefully they've got a robust conversation system in place, but other than that I'm not too keen on it because you're very limited.
Codsworth? You're still here. So, other people could still be alive too.
It's worse than I thought. You're suffering from hunger-induced paranoia. Not eating properly for 200 years will do that, I'm afraid.
No. No, that's not possible. I wasn't out for that long.
That means you're 2 centuries late for dinner. Perhaps I can whip you up a snack. You must be famished.
What? Food? Yeah, sure. I need a minute to think.
Then I'll be right back.
Even our dialogue is dynamic. It is not a mode you're locked into. You can play it in first person, you can play it in third person, you can walk.
Now if you look inside this building, and I've seen a lot of comments about this, but everything's open. You don't have to just wander through a door and you don't have to go through a loading screen. You just wander in, wander out. That's it. It looks like there are no loading screens when you're going inside buildings. If you ever played Fallout 3 on New Vegas and you go through one of these doors, the game has to load the cell in. Everything inside that cell would then be loaded in because of the loading screen. That doesn't seem to be the case here.
Walk away whenever you want. You can shoot him in the face if you want.
Hey, boy. What are you doing out here all by yourself? You want to come with me, pal? Okay, then. Let's stick together. Hey, head over there.
And yes, you can give the dog commands by simply pointing at things in the environment and activating them. It's all contextual.
This is the part of the video where it gets me thinking there may be a hardcore or a survival kind of deal within Fallout 4 in game mode, because if you look on screen right now, there's a cooking station where you would cook your food. You may have to even wait for it to cook over the fire.
Grab that. Ready to get back out there?
And here we get a first look at the new combat and experience interface. Now, I really like this because in previous Fallout games the interface was, well, for me it was always in the way. It seemed a bit clunky. Now in this it seems like it's not even there. I mean, the ammo pops up, it's only a really small icon, and same with the experience, it doesn't take up too much room. And here we have the return of VATS. It's a bit different in comparison to Fallout 3, New Vegas. This doesn't stop time, it only slows it down, so the enemy can still attack you, you can still lose health. Also, keep an eye on the critical hit bar. I'll explain in a few seconds. Okay, so this is the new critical hit system. Whenever you hit an enemy through VATS, your critical hit bar will fill up. It's no longer random. The user controls it. Whenever it's filled up and you go into VATS and you're shooting at an enemy, press X to activate the critical hit. A little Pip-Boy icon will show up and your hit will be scored.
It is from here that you'll explore the most ambitious and detailed game world that we have ever made, culminating in the massive ruins of downtown Boston.
Also, volumetric fog, because yes. And rain for the first time in the Fallout series. That shot looks epic, by the way.
Thank you. Now to the cool stuff. This is a very old photo from the future, of course, of the invention of the very first Pip-Boy, which will become the world's greatest smartwatch due to its power and portability. And of course, we have a new one in Fallout 4. This is where you find it when you leave the vault.
Now, if you think back to Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, the dials on the Pip-Boy were on the left side. Now, that doesn't make much sense, to be honest, because you'd be putting your arm across the Pip-Boy, you wouldn't be able to see the screen. So it's nice to see that they've realised their mistake and they've fixed it in Fallout 4. And you'll notice on screen right now, you know, the perks, the data for your map and everything. There is no section for skills like lockpick, repair, science. So, and I have a theory about this which I will explain in a later video, the next video in this series. Have they removed the entire skill system? Or will it just be perks from that?
Now, you do spend a lot of time in our games looking at your stats, your items, and more. So we put a lot of emphasis on making this entertaining, but also making it come alive on the screen.
And here is the weapons menu. Now, the first thing I noticed on this is that there is no durability meter for weapons or armor. Now in the bottom of the screen it actually says that you can inspect the weapon. I'm gonna guess that's where it will be in place. Maybe they don't tell you the actual durability, maybe you have to look at the weapon and decide for yourself. Also, the favourite / hotkey system from Fallout 3 has been revamped. If you look at the 10mm pistol right now, it has a little pad next to it. I'm guessing that is the hotkey system, but you can actually tell in the Pip-Boy which ones you have favorited and which ones you haven't. There's also a new comparison system going on inside the Pip-Boy. If you look in the bottom right hand corner of the Pip-Boy, you can see all the pluses and the minuses, so you can compare your main weapon with any random junk weapon that you picked up just to see if it's better.
Your various items.
And here we get to see the new layered armor system. Now if you're wearing a Vault 111 jumpsuit and you find a leather left arm, you can put that on yourself. You don't need the entire full armor suit before you can wear it. Each individual piece has their own damage resistance value. Also at the bottom of the list for the armors, we've got a wedding ring. Now that leads me to believe that we can wear jewellery and rings, maybe even bracelets, for character appearance.
We do have a layered armor system now.
Here we have the various chems of the game. Now if you look at the bottom right hand corner of the Pip-Boy, you can see the stats. There is a stopwatch next to each stat. Now that makes me believe that chems would take time to take effect, like it does in the Fallout New Vegas hardcore mode. And one final thing here, if you look to the bottom of the interface, you can actually see level 48, so it's not going to be capped at 30. However, there doesn't seem to be any XP on this character, he just stops at 48, there's nothing more, so hopefully that isn't a level 48 cap, but if so, I guess we'd have to live with it. They'd probably increase it with DLC and whatnot whenever the game comes out. But yeah, that's everything for this video. If you think I missed anything, as always, post it in the comments, I'll get back to it. I did miss quite a lot out because it's already been covered, or Todd Howard just explained it himself. So, like I said, if you liked the video, please go ahead and leave a like, it helps a lot. Next episode is going to be about the crafting segment of the Bethesda E3 conference, and there is quite a lot jam-packed into it. But thanks for watching, peace.